Today is Nelson Mandela International Day. The day is celebrated every year on July the 18th, which is Mandela's birthday. The global community will honour the legacy and values of Madiba through volunteering and community service. Meanwhile, the Nelson Mandela Foundation says government's failure to deliver basic services is a betrayal of Madiba's legacy. The foundation's called on citizens, organisations and the international community to champion justice on this Mandela Day. Meanwhile, the granddaughter of former statesman Nelson Mandela, Ndileka Mandela, says Madiba would not be happy with the current state the country's in. She says the high levels of corruption and the lack of service delivery to communities are not the ideals he stood for. She was speaking to the SABC in Healdtown in the Eastern Cape, where the provincial government observed Mandela Day. Abongile Jantjies has more.
Well, Mandela Day celebrations are being observed here at Healdtown in the Eastern Cape, and a number of activities are taking place. An exhibition of his life was also unveiled here today, and the family is quite pleased with that. Let's bring in his granddaughter, Mama Ndileka Mandela. Ma'am, thanks a lot for your time. We're at the museum here where his legacy is hoped that it will be kept alive for the children here at this school. How does that make you feel as a family?
Well, for me, it makes me proud and also humbled that his legacy is still continuing, be it in a different facet in terms of, archiving material and this exhibition center that we're standing in today, that his legacy will also outlive me, and my children, and the people from this area and people that will be visiting this place will also learn about his legacy.
And he was a staunch educationist, and he had pride for education, and it was close to his heart. The state of schools here in the Eastern Cape, the state of infrastructure, how would he have reacted to some of the challenges that are faced by the education sector here?
Granddad was not a type of person to play the blame game. He was a type of person to stand up and act. And I know that if you were to see, some of the state of the schools in the Eastern Cape, he would invite businessmen to part with a few millions to make sure that those schools were rebuilt, as he did when he still was active in the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Unfortunately then, when it rebranded, those programs were discontinued.
And his legacy as a whole, service delivery on a general state, how would he have reacted to that?
Also, he was a true social activist in the true sense of the word, and any social injustice bothered him. He would call on to those that are supposed to be giving this service to people to order. Not only that, he would still also galvanize funds in his personal capacity to make sure that those disadvantaged communities are taken care of.
And before I let you go, corruption seems to be something that's causing a headache throughout the country. And him being someone who was passionate for service delivery, for ensuring the needs of the people are met, but that has been curbed by corruption. His words on that?
Well, I wouldn't say his words, I will say my words, because he lives through me. I would say that, there's what is called functional and dysfunctional corruption. Ours is completely dysfunctional, because no structures are being built, no service delivery is being built to the people. You only have to go to Flagstaff and see the state of the hospital there, which is like a death den for people that go to hospital. Even if a person goes with a milder ailment, he may come out dead because of the state of the hospital. And there's also functional corruption where, yes, there is corruption, which is the corruption of the West. There's corruption. It's a fallacy to say that there is no corruption in the world. Corruption exists globally. However, the corruption in the West is what I call functional corruption, because despite corruption, things still happen. With us in Africa, it's dysfunctional because nothing happens. I will make an analogy between the functional and dysfunctional corruption. If in the West a person is given, an entity is given to build 10 schools, maybe they'll steal 2 and build aid. With us, with dysfunctional corruption, is that nothing is built. People are given money and money disappears. That's what we have, dysfunctional corruption. And until our government delivers to the people, this country is going to burn, because the youth is very impatient. They cannot stand the level of corruption. We can't stand. My generation also cannot stand the level of corruption, because it has had impact in terms of job creation to our children. And if we do not address this country will burn.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Ndileka Mandela, there you have it from her, speaking on this historic day where we remember our dad. Back to you in studio.